The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday afternoon, transmitted simultaneously to every communication device on Earth. The quantum-encrypted broadcast cut through all security protocols like they weren't there, reaching billions of screens in perfect clarity. Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the United Earth Defense Command Center, watching as the alien figure materialized in a holographic display. The being called itself the voice of the Meridian Collective. Its form was vaguely humanoid but composed of shifting geometric patterns that seemed to fold through impossible dimensions. When it spoke, its words carried the weight of absolute authority. "Humanity," it began, "your species has been evaluated and found wanting. Your technological progress has outpaced your ethical development. You represent an unacceptable risk to galactic stability. You have 30 standard cycles to surrender control of your civilization to the Meridian Collective. Resistance will result in your extinction." Admiral Chen's face remained impassive as the transmission ended, though her knuckles had turned white from gripping the command console. Around her, the command center erupted into controlled chaos as analysts and officers processed the implications of humanity's first contact with an alien civilization. "Ma'am," her XO, Commander David Patel, approached with a data pad. "Long-range sensors are detecting massive energy signatures at the edge of the solar system. The collective isn't bluffing, we're looking at a fleet larger than anything humanity has ever built." Chen nodded slowly, her mind already racing through scenarios and possibilities. "Get me Project Prometheus. Now." Deep beneath the Atacama Desert, in a facility that didn't officially exist, Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched the same transmission with a very different reaction. As the alien threat faded from her screens, a smile crept across her face. "They're right on schedule," she whispered. 24 hours later, the highest-ranking military and scientific leaders on Earth gathered in an emergency session. The room buzzed with tension as Admiral Chen took the podium. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be brief. Our conventional forces cannot hope to match the Meridian Collective's technological superiority. Their quantum technology alone is centuries beyond our most advanced systems." She paused, letting that sink in before continuing. "However, thanks to Dr. Rodriguez and Project Prometheus, we don't have to match them. We're going to change the rules of engagement entirely." Dr. Rodriguez stepped forward, her dark eyes bright with fierce intelligence. "For the past decade, we've been preparing for this moment. Not because we knew the Meridians were coming specifically, but because we understood that humanity's first contact with an advanced civilization would likely be hostile." The holographic display shifted to show a sleek vessel unlike anything in Earth's current fleet. Its hull seemed to shimmer with an inner light, its lines suggesting movement even in the static image. "This is the ESS Defiant," Rodriguez continued. "She represents the culmination of everything we've learned about quantum mechanics, consciousness theory, and human potential. She's not just a ship, she's humanity's answer to the question of our survival." "One ship?" General Harrison interrupted, his voice heavy with skepticism. "We're facing an alien armada and our response is to send a single vessel." "Exactly one ship," Chen replied firmly. "Because that's all we need. The Defiant isn't designed to fight the Meridian Collective on their terms. She's designed to show them something they've never seen before, something their hyperlogical minds can't predict or counter." As if on cue, the hologram of the Defiant shifted, its hull seeming to phase in and out of reality. Rodriguez smiled at the gasps of astonishment from the assembled leaders. "The Meridians believe they understand human technology, human limitations. They expect us to either surrender or launch a desperate, conventional defense. The Defiant will show them how wrong they are. Because while they've been watching our official technological development, Project Prometheus has been exploring something far more powerful, the unique properties of human consciousness when merged with quantum systems." The next hour was filled with technical briefings and strategic planning, but the core decision had already been made. Humanity would not bow to the Meridian Collective's ultimatum. Instead, they would send a single ship carrying their hopes, their defiance, and a technology that would redefine what was possible. As the meeting concluded, Admiral Chen found herself alone with Rodriguez in the briefing room. "Are you certain about this, Elena? We're betting everything on your theory being correct." Rodriguez's expression was serene, confident. The Meridians see the universe as a massive quantum computer, operating on pure logic and mathematical precision. But human consciousness doesn't work that way. We're messy, intuitive, creative. When we merged that chaos with quantum technology. She gestured to the image of the Defiant. We created something entirely new. Something they won't understand until it's too late. And the crew? Are they ready? Captain Maya Santos and her team have been training for this moment for 3 years. They're not just ready, they're eager. The Meridians think they're coming to pass judgment on humanity. Instead, they're about to learn why they should have been afraid of us all along. As the two women looked out at the setting sun through the briefing room's windows, the first components of the Defiant were already being assembled in orbit. In just 28 days, humanity would either prove its right to exist among the stars or face extinction. The clock was ticking. Captain Maya Santos stood on the bridge of the ESS Defiant, watching Earth shrink in the main viewport. Her dark hair was pulled back in a regulation braid, but her uniform was anything but standard, a sleek interface suit that seemed to ripple with subtle patterns of light. "Final systems check complete, Captain," reported Lieutenant Kai Chen from the operations station. Their neural interface glowed softly at the base of their skull, matching the pulsing rhythm of the ship's quantum core. "Ghost protocol is ready for initialization." Maya nodded, feeling the familiar tingle of the ship's quantum systems synchronizing with her consciousness. Around her, the bridge crew, each hand-picked for their unique mental attributes, underwent the same connection process. "Meridian fleet holding position just beyond Neptune's orbit," announced Commander James O'Neill, tactical officer. His holographic displays showed thousands of enemy vessels arranged in perfect geometric formations. "They're watching us, Captain. Probably wondering why we're so stupid, or so arrogant, to approach them with a single ship." "Let them wonder," Maya replied, a slight smile playing at her lips. "Dr. Rodriguez, are you ready?" Elena Rodriguez's voice came through clearly from the quantum lab 2 decks below. "Quantum entanglement field is stable. Remember, Captain, the first jump will be the most critical. The Meridians need to see it, but not understand it. Not yet." Maya closed her eyes, feeling the presence of her crew in the ship's shared quantum field. The Defiant wasn't just a vessel, it was an extension of their collective consciousness, a manifestation of human intuition and creativity merged with advanced technology. Ghost protocol initiating in 3, 2, 1. The universe seemed to hold its breath. Aboard the Meridian Command ship, High Observer NX-742 monitored the approaching human vessel with growing confusion. Its crystalline neural networks processed the sensor data repeatedly, searching for the logic behind this seemingly suicidal mission. "Single vessel continuing on intercept course," reported a subordinate consciousness. "Scanning reveals advanced quantum signatures, but nothing that approaches our technological level. Assessment: 99.87% probability of human psychological warfare attempt." NX-742's crystalline form shifted in irritation. "Humans are irrational, but not foolish. There must be." The sentence was never finished. In that moment, the ESS Defiant simply ceased to exist. Alerts blared across the Meridian fleet as sensors detected the human ship simultaneously appearing at 12 different locations. Before the Meridians could react, all 12 instances vanished, only for the Defiant to appear directly in the middle of their formation. "Impossible," NX-742 stated flatly. "Matter cannot exist in multiple states simultaneously at this scale. The energy requirements alone. Multiple contacts." The subordinate's voice carried an unfamiliar note, something close to panic. "The human vessel is everywhere. Our targeting systems cannot establish lock. Quantum predictions are failing. On the Defiance bridge, Maya felt the exhilaration of the crew through their shared neural link. The Ghost protocol was working better than they had dared hope. By allowing human consciousness to guide their quantum transitions, they were achieving what the Meridian's logic-bound systems could not, true quantum superposition at a macroscopic scale. They're launching interceptors, O'Neill reported, his mind already calculating possible response patterns through the quantum field. Standard containment protocol, they're trying to box us in. Maya smiled. Show them why that won't work. Execute pattern Prometheus. The Defiant began to dance. There was no better word for it. The ship phased in and out of reality, appearing and disappearing in a sequence that seemed random to the Meridians but was guided by the intuitive, creative consciousness of the human crew. Each movement was impossible to predict because it stemmed not from mathematical algorithms but from human inspiration and instinct. Their fleet is breaking formation, Kai announced with satisfaction. We're disrupting their quantum communication networks. They can't coordinate their responses. Dr. Rodriguez's voice cut in, tense but excited. The quantum core is performing beautifully, Captain. The Meridians are trying to analyze our movement patterns, but they're looking for mathematical solutions to a consciousness-driven problem. For the next hour, the Defiant demonstrated capabilities that shattered the Meridians' understanding of physics. The ship appeared inside the quantum shields of their largest vessels, gathered crucial tactical data, and vanished before they could respond. It split into multiple quantum echoes, each one acting independently, yet all connected through the shared consciousness of the crew. In the Meridian Command ship, NX-742 was facing an unprecedented crisis. For the first time in its existence, it encountered a phenomenon that could not be quantified or predicted. The human vessel violated every principle of quantum mechanics, not by breaking the rules, but by applying them in ways the Meridians had never imagined possible. High Observer, the subordinate consciousness reported, we are detecting increasing instability in our fleet's quantum network. The human ship's activities are causing cascade failures in our predictive systems. We cannot distinguish between probable futures. NX-742 made a decision. Prepare the quantum nullification array. If we cannot predict their movements, we will simply collapse all quantum possibilities in their vicinity. Back on the Defiant, Maya felt the shift in the enemy's strategy through the quantum field. They're adapting, she announced to her crew. Just as we expected. Dr. Rodriguez? Phase 2 is ready, Captain. But I should warn you, what we're about to attempt has never been tested at this scale. The mental strain on the crew will be significant. Maya looked around at her bridge crew, seeing the same determination in their eyes that she felt in her heart. We knew the risks when we volunteered. Humanity didn't come this far to back down now. Prepare for Phase 2. As the Meridian fleet brought their quantum nullification weapons to bear, they were about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology, it was their ability to imagine the impossible and make it real. The true test was about to begin. Time seemed to crystallize as the Meridian fleet's quantum nullification wave approached the Defiant. The massive energy field was designed to collapse all quantum possibilities into a single reality, a direct counter to the ship's Ghost protocol. Quantum nullification wave impact in 30 seconds, Kai announced, their voice steady despite the strain evident on their face. The neural interfaces of the entire crew pulsed with increasing intensity as the ship's systems responded to their collective stress. Maya felt the pressure building in her mind, like a storm gathering strength. Dr. Rodriguez, initiate Phase 2. In the quantum lab, Elena Rodriguez's fingers danced across holographic controls. Phase 2 initiating. Remember everyone, don't fight the quantum collapse. Embrace it. The nullification wave hit the Defiant like a tsunami of pure reality. For a moment, every crew member felt their consciousness snap back to singular existence, the countless quantum possibilities they had been maintaining crashed into a single point of now. But instead of destroying the Ghost Protocol, something unprecedented happened. "They don't understand," Maya whispered, a trickle of blood running from her nose. "Consciousness can't be collapsed into a single state. That's not how human minds work." The Defiant began to glow, not with light but with possibility. The human crew's consciousness, forced into a singular point, exploded outward in ways the Meridians had never imagined possible. The ship didn't just split into quantum echoes, it began to exist in quantum dimensions. On the Meridian Command ship, NX-742's crystalline form vibrated with distress. Impossible. The nullification wave should have collapsed all quantum states. "High Observer," the subordinate's voice was thick with confusion, "the human vessel, it's not operating in normal quantum space anymore. Our sensors can't even define where it exists." The Defiant had transcended traditional quantum mechanics. The crew's combined consciousness, compressed by the nullification wave, had pushed through into something new. They weren't just shifting between possibilities anymore, they were creating them. But the cost was mounting. "Neural load approaching critical levels," Kai reported, their voice strained. Blood vessels burst in their eyes, turning them crimson. The human brain wasn't designed to exist in quantum dimensions. Maya felt it too, the overwhelming pressure of existing in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. But she also felt something else, triumph. "They wanted to force us into a single reality," she managed through gritted teeth. "Instead, they've pushed us into all of them." The Meridian fleet's perfect formation had devolved into chaos. Their quantum-based weapons and communications were useless against a ship that existed in dimensional states their technology couldn't even detect. The Defiant appeared within their formations not as a single vessel, but as a cascade of quantum possibilities, each one as real as the last. Dr. Rodriguez's voice came through the neural link, tight with concern. "Captain, the crew's neural patterns are becoming dangerously unstable. We need to end this soon, or the damage will be permanent." Maya nodded, tasting copper in her mouth. "Time to show them our final card. Commander O'Neill, target their command ship's quantum core. All dimensional states, simultaneous attack." James O'Neill's hands shook as he input the commands, but his mind remained sharp in the quantum field. "Target locked, Captain." But this level of dimensional synchronization, it might tear the ship apart. "We knew this might be a one-way mission," Maya reminded him. "What matters is showing the Meridians that humanity isn't just another species to be judged and discarded. We're something they've never encountered before." The Defiant's quantum core pulsed with blinding energy as the ship prepared for its most ambitious maneuver yet. In thousands of quantum dimensions simultaneously, the ship locked onto the Meridian Command vessel's quantum core. NX-742 realized too late what was happening. "All vessels, emergency quantum shutdown. They're going to." The universe seemed to hiccup as the Defiant launched its attack across multiple dimensions simultaneously. The strain on the crew was indescribable, each of them existing in thousands of realities at once, their consciousness stretched to the breaking point and beyond. But it worked. The Meridian Command ship's quantum core destabilized, not just in one reality but in all of them. The cascading failure rippled through their fleet, disrupting the quantum network that linked their ships together. "Target neutralized," O'Neill reported weakly, blood streaming from his ears. "The Meridian fleet, they're blind. Their quantum network is collapsing." Maya tried to respond but found she couldn't form words. The neural interface was burning at the base of her skull, and darkness was creeping into the edges of her vision. Around her, the bridge crew was in similar states, pushed far beyond human limits by what they had accomplished. The last thing she saw before consciousness fled was Dr. Rodriguez's face on the holographic display, her expression a mixture of concern and fierce pride. "You did it, Captain. You showed them. Now let's bring you home." As the Defiant's emergency protocols engaged, pulling the ship back into normal space, the Meridian fleet hung motionless, their quantum superiority shattered by the impossible achievements of a single human vessel and its crew. The battle was over. But the true test of humanity's place in the cosmos was just beginning. The medical bay of the ESS Defiant hummed with activity as Dr. Yuki Tanaka worked tirelessly to stabilize the bridge crew. Holographic displays showed the neural patterns of each crew member, complex webs of light that pulsed with unfamiliar geometries. "I've never seen anything like this," Yuki muttered, studying Captain Santos's brain scans. Their consciousness literally expanded into quantum dimensions. The human mind shouldn't be capable of processing that kind of existence. Dr. Rodriguez stood nearby, her own neural interface still flickering with residual quantum energy. "But it did process it, Doctor. That's what the Meridians don't understand. Human consciousness isn't bound by the same rules as their quantum computers." A soft groan from Maya's bed drew their attention. The captain's eyes fluttered open, their usual brown now shot through with threads of quantum luminescence. Did it work?" "Better than we could have hoped," Elena replied, smiling. "The Meridian fleet is still trying to restore their quantum network. More importantly, they're asking to talk." On the other side of the medical bay, Commander O'Neill and Lieutenant Chen were also regaining consciousness, their neural interfaces synchronizing back to normal spacetime. The entire crew showed signs of their incredible ordeal: burst blood vessels, neural strain, temporal displacement symptoms, but they were alive, and they had achieved the impossible. The main view screen activated, showing the Meridian Command ship. Its crystalline structure seemed dimmer now, less imposing. High Observer NX-742's form appeared, its geometric patterns moving with what could only be described as agitation. "You have violated our understanding of quantum mechanics," the alien stated without preamble. "This should not be possible. Our calculations were perfect. Our technology is superior. Yet you..." The crystalline form shifted. "Explain." Maya sat up slowly, supported by Dr. Tanaka. "That's the problem with pure logic, Observer. It can only work with what it knows is possible. Humans, we imagine what could be possible, and then we make it happen. Imagination is irrelevant," NX-742 countered. "The universe operates on fixed principles. Quantum mechanics is just one way of understanding reality," Elena interrupted. "You built your civilization on quantum computation, believing it was the pinnacle of evolution. But you forgot something crucial: consciousness itself is quantum in nature, and human consciousness doesn't follow your rules." The Observer's form pulsed with patterns that suggested deep disturbance. "Your neural interfaces. They allow your consciousness to interact directly with quantum systems." "More than that," Maya explained. "They allow our natural quantum consciousness to express itself. Humans have always existed in multiple states simultaneously. We imagine different possibilities, we dream, we create. We just needed the right technology to manifest those states physically." Through the quantum link that still connected the crew, they could feel each other's thoughts, emotions, and memories flowing together. It wasn't the overwhelming flood of their dimensional battle state, but rather a gentle reminder of their shared experience. "Impossible," NX-742 stated, but there was uncertainty in its voice. "Consciousness is an emergent property of computational systems. It cannot." "Watch," Maya commanded. With visible effort, she reached out through her neural interface. The space around her shimmered as her consciousness expressed itself in quantum states. Not the dramatic dimensional shifts of battle, but something more subtle and, in its way, more profound. The Meridian Observer watched as reality itself seemed to bend around the human captain. Not through technology alone, but through the direct interaction of her consciousness with the quantum fabric of spacetime. "This is why we sent one ship," Maya continued, her voice steady despite the strain. "We needed you to see that humanity isn't just another species to be judged by your standards. We represent something you've never encountered before, a union of quantum consciousness and technology that transcends pure logic. The medical bay fell silent as the implications of her words sank in. The Meridian Collective, for all its technological superiority, had never considered that consciousness itself might be the key to unlocking the deeper mysteries of quantum reality. Your existence, NX 742 finally said, presents us with a paradox. You are simultaneously less advanced than our civilization, yet capable of things we cannot comprehend. This requires reconsideration. Dr. Rodriguez stepped forward. That's the most human thing you've said so far, observer. The ability to reconsider, to adapt, to imagine new possibilities, these are the qualities that make consciousness more powerful than any quantum computer. The quantum link between the crew pulsed with shared understanding. They had done more than just defend Earth, they had forced one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy to question its fundamental assumptions about the nature of existence itself. As the Defiance crew continued their recovery, the Meridian fleet maintained its distance, their perfectly ordered society grappling with the implications of what they had witnessed. The human ship had not just survived their attack, it had demonstrated a way of existing that challenged everything they thought they knew about the universe. The next few hours would determine whether this challenge would lead to war or understanding. But one thing was already clear: humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through superior technology or military might, but through the unique qualities of human consciousness itself. The observation deck of the ESS Defiant offered a stunning view of Earth's solar system. Captain Maya Santos stood there, watching the crystalline forms of the Meridian fleet shimmer against the star-filled backdrop. Her neural interface had stabilized, though the quantum luminescence in her eyes remained, a permanent reminder of their incredible journey. The Collective's Council has reached a decision, Dr. Rodriguez announced, joining her at the viewport. They're ready to speak with us. Maya nodded, feeling the steady presence of her crew through their quantum link. Though no longer pushed to dimensional extremes, their shared consciousness had evolved into something permanent and profound. Are we recording this for Earth Command? Every quantum fluctuation, Elena confirmed. Though I doubt even our best sensors can capture the full significance of what's about to happen. The holographic projection materialized in the center of the observation deck. This time, it wasn't just High Observer NX 742, but the entire Meridian Council, their crystalline forms arranged in a complex geometric pattern that somehow conveyed both authority and uncertainty. We have analyzed the data from our encounter, the Council spoke in unified resonance. Our conclusions are troubling. Your species has achieved something that defies our understanding of universal constants. Not defies, Maya corrected gently. Expands. Human consciousness has always operated on principles your quantum computers couldn't recognize. We didn't break the universe's rules, we showed you rules you didn't know existed. The Council's crystalline patterns shifted in what might have been agitation. Your neural quantum technology is primitive compared to our systems. Yet when merged with human consciousness, it achieves results that should be impossible. This paradox isn't a paradox at all, Dr. Rodriguez interjected. It's the difference between processing reality and experiencing it. Your quantum computers can calculate infinite possibilities, but human consciousness can imagine possibilities that don't exist yet. That's why we sent just one ship, to show you something your logic couldn't predict. Through the neural link, Maya felt her crew's collective agreement. Each of them had pushed the boundaries of what was possible, not through superior technology, but through the uniquely human ability to conceptualize the impossible and make it real. We came to judge your species' readiness for galactic civilization, the Council continued. Instead, you have forced us to question our own understanding of existence. This is unprecedented. Maya stepped forward, her quantum-touched eyes meeting the geometric patterns of the Council. Then perhaps it's time for something else unprecedented. Instead of judging us, work with us. Human consciousness and Meridian technology, imagine what we could achieve together. The proposal hung in the space between them, a quantum possibility waiting to collapse into reality. The Council's crystalline forms pulsed with rapid patterns as they processed this new paradigm. Your suggestion violates countless protocols, NX 742 observed. It would fundamentally alter the structure of our civilization. There was a pause, then, perhaps that is precisely what we need. The quantum link hummed with triumph as the crew realized what was happening. The Meridians, bound for millennia by their rigid logical structures, were learning to imagine new possibilities. We propose an exchange, the Council announced. Knowledge for knowledge. We will share our quantum technology, and in return, we wish to study human consciousness. To understand how you achieve what our most advanced systems cannot. Dr. Rodriguez smiled. You may find that understanding human consciousness is harder than you expect. We barely understand it ourselves. That, the Council responded, is precisely why it interests us. As the details of the agreement were worked out, Maya felt a profound sense of rightness through the quantum link. Humanity had faced extinction and instead achieved something far greater. They had taught one of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations how to imagine. The ESS Defiant had been launched as humanity's last hope, carrying an experimental technology in a desperate plan. It had returned as the bridge between two fundamentally different ways of understanding reality. Send word to Earth Command, Maya ordered, her voice carrying the weight of history in the making. Tell them that tomorrow's dawn will look very different than anyone imagined. As the message was transmitted, the quantum luminescence in her eyes seemed to brighten. Through the viewport, Earth's sun emerged from behind the curve of their home planet, its light catching the crystalline forms of the Meridian ships. For a moment, they seemed to shimmer with new possibilities, a visual representation of what happened when rigid logic encountered human imagination. The crew of the Defiant had done more than save humanity. They had proven that consciousness itself was the next frontier of evolution, and that the greatest discoveries came not from calculating what was possible, but from imagining what could be. In the vast darkness of space, a new chapter in galactic history was beginning. And it started, as humanity's greatest achievements often did, with someone daring to imagine the impossible. The end was just the beginning.